In a recent podcast with Joe Rogan, Elon Musk has done something truly astonishing. He has obliterated the so-called woke liberals and exposed a staggering amount of fraud, trillions of dollars in fraudulent activities being carried out by powerful elites. This is not just a small revelation, this is absolutely monumental. It's the kind of thing that should have everyone talking. Seriously, after you finish watching this video, you'll understand why these fraudulent elites and their media puppets are having an absolute meltdown. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, let's dive into the madness. You would think that, as a taxpayer, you would be happy if fraud and waste were exposed within the government, right? After all, most of us are fed up with how much we have to pay in taxes. So, when the truth comes out and we find that the system is riddled with waste and fraud, we should all be celebrating. But no, instead of celebrating the truth coming to light, there are people out there defending the very people responsible for this mess. One of the most jaw-dropping examples that Elon Musk touched on was the issue with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. It sounds like a noble cause, right? They call it foreign aid, but in reality, it's a smokescreen for one of the biggest scams ever. Musk brought up one particular example, $250 million of taxpayer money being spent on something as ridiculous as transgender animal studies. Yes, you heard that correctly. They are literally spending your hard-earned tax dollars mutilating animals for these bizarre experiments. This is just the appetizer of what is really going on in these shady government programs. Here's where it gets even crazier. Government-funded nonprofits are the perfect loophole for fraudulent activities. Musk revealed that these so-called non-governmental organizations, NGOs, are nothing but government-funded fronts that allow people to pocket huge amounts of taxpayer money. These entities often have no real prior activities or clear purpose. They're just set up to serve as vessels for corruption. Musk pointed out that these government-funded NGOs aren't actually non-profit. They're a system for wealthy individuals to line their pockets. The taxpayers are left footing the bill, while people associated with these organizations make millions, often with no transparency or accountability. What's truly mind-blowing is that this entire system has been operating under the radar for so long. How has this massive fraud stayed hidden for years? How did no one see it coming or expose it earlier? Musk himself is calling out the lack of accountability, and the fact that this massive scam is allowed to continue is shocking. It's as if the government has become so comfortable with this waste and fraud that they no longer feel the need to hide it. Instead of working to end corruption, they're simply accepting it as the norm. Another point Musk raised was the lack of coordination between government databases, which leads to massive inefficiencies and fraud. He explained that there are massive payment systems, like the one at the Treasury Department, where billions of dollars are being sent without any real tracking or accountability. Musk revealed that the payment system, known as PAM, Payments Account Master Database, is an absolute disaster. It processes payments totaling nearly $5 trillion a year. But guess what? There's no categorization code or description for most payments. Essentially, they're blank checks going out to who knows where. If this happened in the private sector, companies would be immediately investigated, and the executives would probably be behind bars. But when the government does it, nothing happens. It's just the way they operate. While Elon Musk exposes all this fraud, what are the woke media outlets doing? Instead of holding the government accountable, they're out here complaining about anything and everything, distracting the public from the real issue, corruption. They're more concerned with pushing their own narratives than addressing the massive waste of taxpayer money happening right in front of their eyes. These same individuals are attacking Musk, but instead of recognizing the massive fraud he's uncovering, they'd rather play the victim. How is it possible that they can't see this as a massive problem? After all, it's their money too. These same people who are blindly defending this corruption are ultimately the ones footing the bill. Why aren't they outraged? It's beyond frustrating to watch the same people who should be standing up for accountability defend the very people robbing them blind. One of the most interesting aspects of Musk's fight against government waste is his involvement with the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE). While some critics claim that Musk isn't directly in charge, the initiative has clearly been spearheaded by him to root out waste and corruption. The White House may try to discredit his involvement, but one thing is clear: Musk is making it his mission to expose the inefficiencies in government spending. However, even Musk's efforts to root out waste have been met with some criticism. Though he's publicly called for eliminating waste, some say that his initiatives haven't yet identified the true scale of government fraud. Musk's own companies have been promised over $21 billion in government contracts, yet taxpayers are still left to wonder where all the money is actually going. So why do the elites, those entrenched in this corrupt system, hate Elon Musk so much? It's simple. Musk is shining a light on the truth. They've been getting away with this fraud for years, and now that Musk is exposing it, they have no choice but to push back. They'll do everything they can to spread misinformation about Musk and divert attention away from the real issue. But Musk is not backing down. As he continues to expose the massive fraud within the government, more people are waking up to the fact that they've been getting robbed for years. These elites and their puppet media outlets can scream all they want, but the truth is out there now, and it's up to the public to do something about it. The worst part of all this is that government waste affects everyone, regardless of political affiliation. This isn't a Republican or a Democrat issue. It's an issue that affects every single taxpayer in the country. When trillions of dollars are wasted or misappropriated, that's money taken directly from the pockets of hardworking citizens. And yet, the pushback against government reforms is loud. Some have tried to say that cutting waste and streamlining government agencies is a bad thing. But what they fail to understand is that it's not about cutting vital services or hurting people. It's about getting rid of the waste that's been siphoning money away from the American people for years. It's about ensuring that taxpayer dollars go toward what they're supposed to, improving infrastructure, supporting education, and building a stronger future for everyone. Instead, too many government programs have become a breeding ground for corruption and inefficiency, lining the pockets of a few while leaving everyone else in the dark. Elon Musk's fight against waste, fraud, and government corruption is not over. If anything, it's just getting started. The truth is out there, and more people are waking up to the fact that something needs to change. The current system is broken, and it's time for reform. Whether you agree with Musk on everything or not, the reality is that he's doing something most politicians refuse to do. He's exposing the truth. The media may try to spin this narrative, but the fact is clear. Taxpayer money is being wasted, and it's time for accountability. The question is, will enough people rise up and demand change, or will they continue to let these elites get away with it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest revelations. Together, we can keep pushing for accountability and stop this madness once and for all.